Namaste, everyone. I'm Jeni Ji. Thanks for tuning in on this week's Cosmic Vibes video. We're going to talk about what's coming up every day this week. We have that powerful super full moon on the 19th and 20th in Aquarius. And I'm going to tell you what zodiac signs it's going to affect the most. Now, we also have a master number day this week as well. And this is a week by far where you really have to use caution. It can be a very shaky week coming up with these energies. I mean, a lot of things are happening. Like I keep on hearing, even I was talking to one of my clients the other night, she mentioned she was going to go to Japan. And I'm like, wait, no, I literally am seeing everything being very shaky over there. Like, I'm just really hoping that what I'm seeing with an earthquake and a tsunami is not going to happen. Right. I kept on hearing that. So I'm going to talk about more about that in a minute here. But first of all, how many of you have subscribed to my channel? Hit that little red button right down there in the corner to subscribe to get notifications on my content. And also, before we begin, I've been doing live psychic clairvoyant readings monthly here on my channel. Now, the next free psychic clairvoyant reading will be on August 31st on Saturday at 12 noon Mountain Standard Time, 2 p.m. Eastern, or 11 a.m. Pacific. And if you're tuned in, if you're subscribed to my channel, follow me on Instagram, Jeni Ji Cousins, because then you're going to see even more content up there, and my team posts information there for you as well. And I'll follow you right back. So you can ask me a question at the live free reading, and I will give you my insights. I never know what messages are going to come through from spirit, as I literally hear 24/7 messages nonstop, being a clairvoyant. So anyways, now this super full moon, this is why I put a photo up here. I do photography. See, there's my little signature down there. You can see it in the corner. This is a full moon photo I had took before. So I wanted to use this up because this powerful, like super full moon, we're literally going to have back-to-back super full moons coming here this year, August, September, October, and so on, right? Whenever there's a super full moon, it's like a super duper, it doubles the impact, it doubles the power of it. Now, the zodiac signs that are going to get more affected during this time is Leo and Aquarius. Like I'm a Leo, right? And also Aquarius. I have a really good dear friend of mine who's Aquarius, and she's going through a lot right now as well. I'm not going to name names, but you know who that is. So this is the time when you really have to really pay attention with what is going on within. Where are your thoughts? Especially pay attention to what is not working, especially when it comes to business. Are you at a job where you're like, I'm just not moving forward, I'm not happy, I'm not getting my promotion, I've been promised this and that, or maybe I'm in a toxic work environment. If I'm self-employed, maybe I have like certain people around me that just aren't supporting me, that consistently make mistakes all the time, that promises things that never do things, like whatever it is, right? This also entails relationships. So you might be finding, and you have been getting these red flags, you have been getting these signs. Like we always get these signs from spirit that things aren't working. Like really reflect back, because this is going to be a time like for everyone, of course. However, Leo and Aquarius during this full moon is going to get affected the most, especially during Mercury retrograde. Some of us could be going through some health procedures, which is really good, right? Mercury retrograde is the time for surgeries and getting health procedures done and so on and so on. It's during a new moon that you don't want surgeries that day if possible, right? Even when I had my surgery, I'm like, wait a minute, let me have my day timer here. Let me see. I'm not scheduling that on the new moon, right? If we have to, we have to, So now this is powerful. We're still in that Lionsgate portal energy. If you guys reflect back to last week, you might have felt that there was a week when you're like, why am I so like emotional? Why am I so like angry? Why am I not sleeping? How many of you guys went to bed and you're like, why am I having trouble sleeping? So then you fall asleep and then you wake up like maybe an hour and a half later and then you can't get back to sleep. And then you get back to sleep and you're like, why did I only sleep for another hour? Why am I waking up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m.? Like, what is up with that? This shows you August being a very intense month with energy. Like, it's literally off the charts, right? You know, Lionsgate Portal, Mercury retrograde. I don't like this retrograde myself this month, to be honest with you. It's like seeing a lot of things. Like the retrograde can be actually really spiritual for you to like pause, really take that into account of what's just not working for me. Like, really, it's not the time to rush anything. It's not the time to push or force anything at all. It gives you that time to really reset things, retweak things, maybe start certain, projects that were put on hold. You guys have seen like some people coming back from your past, reconnecting with people, especially some ugliness, right? Like there's some people that can all of a sudden send you a message from your past, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, like this person literally attacked. Or you could get a message from them and you're like, you know what, I just want to keep things calm. So you reply back really calmly and everything. And then they go ahead and they attack you. Just their entity, their negative entity attacks you. How many of you had that happen to you? I sure the hell did. And let me tell you, I don't put up with that. So pay attention to who has reached out to you in a heartfelt way and who is just being themselves by being that entity, darkness, and all of those things. Pay attention to that. Really pay attention to that. That's their journey. We all have our own journey to walk upon. I didn't even reply back because it's someone that has been around me for many years, that's connected to my so-called family. I've always been that black sheep of the family. I've never ever felt I belonged to my family, except for my brother Robert, right? However, it's those certain other situations and comments where I'm like, wow, this is shocking, but it's not shocking, right? So anyways, it's don't allow certain energies. It doesn't matter if it's a friend or family or relationship or work or whoever. Don't allow that energy to bother you, because they're just showing you more of who they truly are, their level of consciousness and so on. And you don't need to get back involved with that. You don't even need to respond, because it's like, it doesn't matter what you would say to that person. It's not going to make a difference, because they only see things in their level of consciousness where they're at, right? And this is why certain people come back from your past as a reminder of where you are with your soul's growth, your soul's evolution, and where they're at. It's like, never wish them any harm or anything like that, because what energy they have done to other people, that's their karma, right? So it comes down to how you respond to that. So you don't want to throw that coal in the fire, and bring on those extra gasoline flames in the air for that toxicity to continue. No. Why? You're just going to get upset. Try not to let things like that bother you. You know what I mean? So this is why this month especially has been, like difficult on, certain people, right? I mean, we can have people coming back from the past year in Mercury retrograde, and we're like, wow, how are you? Oh my gosh, we should get together and, do something or have some lunch or, like whatever it is, right? So there's a lot of really good things that can happen with Mercury retrograde. For me, it's technical, electronical issues and stuff. I'm like, oh my God, right? Like even on my birthday, I had some situations on my laptop and I'm like, I've reached out for help with other people and stuff and nothing's been really done or, let me help you with that. So I'm like, you know what? I can't deal with this anymore. So I literally took it into Memory Express here in Calgary and a big, huge hug and thank you to Luke at Memory Express here in Calgary at the Dalhousie location. You were amazing. And that was such a really, really good birthday gift for me. I have a peace of mind now. He was awesome. He was amazing. And he was pretty cute as well, you might say. So I will be writing a really good review for him. He gave me that peace of mind, and I'm truly grateful for that. Right? So it's all when you have to take your power back. You have to do things for you. Like, don't depend on other people. I mean, we can depend on other people to help us with certain things or whatever and such. Absolutely. But if you're sitting around putting your life on hold by broken promises or to do this or that, why? So again, I'm bringing up this reason and this because this week is going to be like that as well. This whole month is for you to pay more attention to it. So, especially the 18th to the 24th, it's so unpredictable. Please, please be cautioned when you're traveling. There's a lot of upsets in the world. There could be like earthquakes, there could be like weather disruptions. Like, as I mentioned, I keep on hearing Japan, there could be volcano eruptions, like just certain things like that happening. And I've been talking about the water being unsettled for quite some time with shark attacks and our sea animals, like on shore. Pay attention, right? I said that in last year for this year's prediction for 2024. We're seeing more shark invasions, right? Lots of things are happening. So please, if you go swimming, as I've mentioned before, do not go alone. If you go hiking, don't go by yourself, please. Bring somebody with you. Very important. And listen to your intuition. This is a shaky, shaky week coming up. There's going to be sudden endings. There's going to be more deaths coming out, sudden deaths, sudden endings. So it's really important that you use extra caution this week with what you're doing. Like, don't go into fear mode. Don't go into fear mode, right? Because whenever you're fighting within yourself, it's going to cause you to be very, very unbalanced, very unbalanced. And this is why during this week, you're going to want to take time out for even more of yourself. And as I mentioned before, with certain people that all of a sudden come back or try to attack you, when you start defending who you are, that's not your people. That's not who you're supposed to be around. Like I distance away from a lot of different people and energies and such like that. I never wish them any harm at all, ever, ever. I have a very busy schedule, and that's why I'm not as social on social media. It's not that I'm ignoring you because I do see everything. I do see a lot. I observe a lot what's going on, and I keep a lot to myself, right? So for those of you who wish me happy birthday, I'm very grateful. I do remember every single one of your greetings, and thank you again. I'm very grateful. And this is why as well, you're going to find that this week that you're going to be even setting more boundaries. When you're setting boundaries, that's self-love, that is self-love within, and it's important for you to take time out for you. And when you're meditating, for those of you who meditate, like I stress the importance of meditating more, because when you're meditating, it takes time to practice, by the way. Some people put a shawl over their head to try to tune in more and such like that. Make sure it's in a quiet area. And whenever you're just reflecting within, if you're listening to a guided meditation or in silence, and there's so many ways to meditate, really pay attention to what parts of your body starts to shake a little bit, starts to twitch a little bit, because it's very well your body talking to you. We have different chakras in our body, and that's your chakras and your body talking to you to tell you what is off of alignment, what is not balanced. So pay attention to that. So I'm just saying, how many of you have set intentions this month, like this whole entire year? This is a huge year with the Universal 8 year, the year of the dragon. This month being, Lionsgate portal, super full moon, super duper full moons, as I call it. It's a huge time for you. Like you might even find on the 18th of August, you're going to be like, you know what? I got to trust the process. I got to trust it, because so much more truth is coming out. And especially this week, more truth is being exposed even more and more and more. And you might be even reflecting back on, I understand now why I didn't do that, especially on the 21st and 22nd. You're going to be like, oh my goodness, that's why I didn't take that job. That's why I ended that relationship. That's why I didn't start that relationship. That's why I didn't move, because a lot of things are coming forward on that. And this is why it's really important to really take time for you, like really, really take time for you. On the 23rd and 24th of August, you might be like, gosh, I need to go for a hike. Don't go alone. Don't go alone. I need to get outside. I want to get more grounded, because that's Virgo season starting. How many of you are Virgos? Happy birthday to my fellow Virgos. It's a time where you're going to want to feel, I need to get myself back grounded. I've been all over the map with my thoughts. I've been overthinking too much. When you overthink, it's that hamster wheel, as I call it. Our mind goes over and roundabout and everything like that day, right? The 24th, mind you, is a master number day. That is going to be a day when you're going to be like, I need to take my power back. I need to set stronger boundaries. I need to start doing things for me. I need to say enough of that. Enough of that. Maybe you've ended that relationship. Maybe you've made a decision and put your notice in at your work that you're leaving your employment, right? Like whenever you start healing and processing situations and letting go, you take your power back. You take your power back. Even I got attacked from my so-called family member, as I call it. It really didn't bother me. I'm just like, oh my God, just her energy went right through my entire body of that dark entity. And I'm like, wow. So I cleared myself immediately, cleared out that energy immediately. No, thank you. That's her. Has nothing to do with me. Right? And if you allow certain energies to bother you, it's going to stay in your energy field. It's going to throw you off. It could throw your day off. It could put your thoughts from positive to negative. They want you there. That's where they want to keep you there. So when you let that go and, clear out that energy from within your body, you are taking your power back even more and more and more. It's these challenges that you go through in life that can really make you move forward. It can transform you forward with more courage and strength. Were you to the point of, you know what? You're just a fly on my shoulder that I flick off. You don't bother me anymore. Once upon a time ago, way back when I didn't know any better, yeah, you really, really, really bothered me, but now you don't. So it really shows you just how far you have shifted and transcend transcended forward in quantum leaps. They're still there. Let them go. You know what they're doing to you, and it's not okay with how they're treating you or what they're saying to you. You don't need to get involved with that type of energy, do you? Why? Why would you? Right? So it can be a really kind of a week that's shaky, as I'm saying. So it's your week to take time for you to really say, you know what, I need to distance away from this as well. Now, every day, these planets affect different parts of our body and your pets, by the way, and your pets. You know, your pets can pick up on your energy whenever you're really stressed out, when you're angry, when you're like sad and such, and also too with these planets, they affect our bodies differently and your animals. So you might find on the 18th and 19th, your calf and your ankle might bother you a little bit more. Maybe your dog starts limping a little bit or licking their calf and their legs and such like that. So you might find on the 21st, your feet and your toes might bother you a little bit more in your pineal gland. Give yourself a massage. How many of you have taken some time to get a massage at a spa, or even get some really nice body lotions and put that on, and maybe had a bath with some essential oils and such like that? That's self-love, that's self-care. It doesn't cost a lot to get some body lotion and put some nice body lotion on your body, or you know what I mean? Things like that, essential oils and to beautify yourself. Maybe some of you are like, you know what, now I can start to see that these changes that I've made in my body, or my mind and my soul, I can start to see the results now. I'm feeling a lot more grounded and balanced. Or maybe some of you who've been like working out, you're starting to see muscle mass build for you, especially for those men out there and women as well, right? Or you've lost some weight, or you've made some changes with your appearance somehow. You're going to even be seeing that more and more and more. So the 24th and the 25th, you might find your vocal cords are a little bit out in your neck. Maybe that's the day when you're going to confront that ugliness in that person or that dark entity that's around you, with whoever they are. So you're going to get tension in the neck, right? So I'm just saying, just use caution. You start defending who you are and your actions and everything like that. Why are you doing that? Why are you defending who you are? It's like, this is me. I know who I am. I know where my heart is. I know what my intentions are. That's all that matters, right? So this is a really, really big, powerful week with the super duper full moon. You're going to find that you're going to be more creative that day as well. You're going to be working through things a lot more profoundly. You're going to be, even working through some situations that were stuck, right? Like maybe it was a project that you're like, gosh, I felt stuck. That creativity just, it didn't come out. And all of a sudden that full moon, you're going to be like, yeah, I'm actually more creative and creative, and it can be very, very emotional. Full moons are very emotional as it is, right? That full moon in Aquarius. So, it can be like, wow, more teary-eyed. Sleep is going to be off again, right? My good Lord. Like, why is my sleep off? And I'm like, oh my gosh, these planets are off the charts right now, right? So now I know that some of you guys asked me what cards I'm using for the collective here. So I am going to show you what decks I'm using. So I get messages sent to me and I'm like, say it on my YouTube channel, right? But I don't have time to go back and watch my videos and see what decks I'm using. I really don't, to be honest. So it's really good you guys have made that known. So I'm going to tell you, I'm going to show you the deck that I'm using. So you guys know, right? So now if you book a reading with me, I don't use cards because I'm a clairvoyant psychic medium. I do read into your level of consciousness to see where you're at, talk to you about your past lives, where you are now, messages from your loved ones or spirit, and give you my insights and all kinds of things. So everybody's different, but because this is collective, of course, I'm going to pull a couple of different cards and such like that. And I always kind of tune in spirit, what decks am I supposed to use for this specific video? And I surrender it, and then all of a sudden I get guided to pull a certain decks and so on. So make sure you clear your cards before you use them, because if you don't, it brings forth all of, the energies, if it was yourself or whoever else that was utilizing and using these cards. So now I feel that, I feel the deck here, especially for crystals. I have different crystal decks, but I felt compelled to pull this specific deck here. So the deck I'm using here is Daily Crystal Inspiration by Heather Askinois. I'm probably pronouncing that really wrong. I don't know if you guys can see that at all, but yeah. So Daily Crystal Inspiration, Heather Askinois, Askinosie. So that fell to the ground. So we're just going to kind of kick that box over there. And I'll pick it up in a bit. So now let's ask the crystals, because with this full moon, and you're going to feel, you have felt ungrounded this month as well because of these intense energies where you're like, as I mentioned, look back on last week's video that I did. And also, if you can remember the past week, especially, of your emotions could have been extreme anger, your emotions could have been exhausted, not sleeping, emotional, all of these situations that, you were healing from in this lifetime have come back. Even some of you have had certain dreams and certain insights on your other lifetimes. And you're like, wow, I had this dream about this and I don't understand it, because you're also healing from other lifetimes as well. There's a lot of messages in your dreams. You can always book a session with me and I can, give you specific details with what that message is specifically for you is, of course, right? Soulworkwithjeni.com. So now let's ask the crystal world, what is the message from, what date is it? The 18th or the 24th already in August? Like, oh my God, we're moving into September here. Oh my gosh, pretty soon. What is the collective message from the spirit world? Oh, and I have this crystal, and I was looking at it even before, and I'm like, oh, I should bring this out on the table here, and I didn't. So that's my fault for not listening to my intuition. I do have this crystal, by the way. It's a Lemurian quartz. Practice patience. So you know how I was just talking about past life, right? Lemurian days. Lemurian days is a very past life. How many of you are connected way back to the Lemurian days? The lighting's not really bringing up these cards really good here for you guys. But the back of the cards look like this, just so you guys know, right? But it's the Lemurian crystal or Lemurian quartz, which is like a clear crystal. No, I didn't bring it. Shoot. A clear crystal, it could have a little bit of kind of browning in it as well. And it's about practicing patience as well. So, as I mentioned, this is a month to not force any. It's never time to force or push anything. It's really not ever, but especially during Mercury retrograde, it's the time to slow down, because we get forced to slow down, right? It's like when you're not sleeping, it's like, well, oh, all of these things I wanted to work on today or do, I can't because I haven't had any sleep. Exactly. Like I had planned to work on my projects, and I'm like, I can't work on these projects whenever my mind is like not sleep, like less sleep. I can't do that. But if you notice, as you kind of go on during the day, all of a sudden you get a lot of energy, right? I do. And I'm like, oh, okay. But now I can't work on these projects because now I have to do this, right? So go on your own flow, you guys. So let me pull, okay, I'm going to pull this deck actually. Now, the deck I'm going to be using, because there can be a lot of endings with relationships, and Mercury retrograde is not a time to start a new romantic relationship. It's not, right? If you met somebody or somebody from your past come back, don't rush anything. Don't rush anything. This is the Romance Angels deck by Doreen Virtue. Gosh, it's not coming up here. Thank you, Mercury retrograde. Oh, a little bit. There you go. So this next deck I'm using is that one for you guys to know. So now what is the cosmic message from the 18th to the 24th from the spirit world for the romance section in our life? What is the cosmic message from the 18th to the 24th of August? Cosmic message. Oh my God. Like how fitting. Someone from your past is returning, reconciliation, like hello, ding, ding, ding. And be careful whenever, as I mentioned earlier, when people are coming back from your life, it could be somebody like you had your eyes on, who's, they're single now, or maybe you're single now. Be very careful, because when somebody re-enters your life, look back on that relationship or that connection with them and see if it was toxic, see if it was healthy for you, or not, right? Like, you could have had your eyes on somebody and you're like, wow, and all of a sudden they're single now and they reach out to you or you reach out to them, and it can be a really, really good experience, right? And that could be your person, and so on. However, pay attention to the red flags. There's people that were very attracted to you. Like there's different, guys that, I know many people in all walks of life, and of course there's a few men out there. I'm like, wow, they're really hot, right? Like, wow. However, that person might not be the best person for me to be involved with for various reasons. So there's more to a relationship than just being attracted to someone. There really is. So for me, I take my time getting to know someone slowly. When somebody comes rushing in, boom, I get turned off, to be very honest, because I'm like, I just want to get to know that person first to see if there's a connection, to see if we're kind of on the same page with things. You know what I mean? Certain things like that. But, that's just myself. You got to go on your rhythm with what works for me. I know what works for me. And I know what especially doesn't work for me. So go on your own flow always, right? So now let's pull another card here. I'm feeling my aloha energy here coming out. Whew. Prayers again for Hawaii, for Lahana. It was their 1-year anniversary, 8/8, Lionsgate Partial for the fire. I put out different postings. Instagram, you guys, Jeni Ji Cousins, follow me there. I'll follow you back. What is the message from the 18th to the 24th? Oh, sorry, here's the deck. Here's the name of the deck, by the way. Whispers of Aloha by Angela Hartfield. Whispers of Aloha. There you go. For those of you. I got to get in that habit of bringing my cards with me, or the covers, so y'all can see that. So I wrote it down for this week. Make sure you bring the card deck and say it as well. So now what's the message from the 18th to the 21st or 24th? August 24th, as well as McTavish's birthday. My Irish wolfhound, he had passed away May 29th, 2014. Normally on the 24th of August, around that time, I would go to the zoo or be around a lot of different animals at animal parks or places, and just share some sacred time with animals and memory of him as well. He still visits me in dreams. He still comes to me in dreams. He actually came in one of my other dreams the other day, McTavish. Like, it was such a profound bond. Like, there's certain animals that we have a huge bond with. McTavish and I have, like, even me and Bella have a huge bond. My dog who just passed here in February, and McTavish, my Irish wolfhound, for those of you who know, when I was living in Ireland, I got him, and I knew his name a year before I got him, and so on. There's a long, long story. He still comes in my dreams. Even the second night after Bella passed, saying, Bella, come in my dreams. Both McTavish and Bella came in my dreams, and they were together. I knew that. Like, I know the link and the connection, why, and everything. Your animals are still with you. You know, I'm an animal communicator, so I do talk to animals that have passed on and also your animals who are still here with you on Earth. So, so yeah, I just kind of go with the flow with my conversation. Sorry, I didn't mean to ramble on. Um, so the 18th of the 24th of August, what's the energy and message from the spirit world? 18th of the 24th of August. Okay, here we go. Rise to meet challenges. Look up aspirations ahead. Now, what was I talking about? This is a week to use extra caution, right? It can be a very challenging week with the super full moon and with a lot of disruptions coming this week as well. You know, and stress is another name for fear. So when you're grateful, there's no fear. When challenges come up, don't run from them. You know, say to yourself, okay, I'm here to find a solution for my challenge with what I'm facing and having to go through, right? You know, that there's many reasons why certain challenges come up for you. It could be situations that we have been running from, that we have been ignoring. You know, challenges can come up at any given time, especially with all the sudden earthquakes, with sudden, you know, sudden death, sudden this, sudden that, and all kinds of things as well, right? So when you're facing challenges, really take that time for yourself. Don't go into fear zone. Don't freak out. Embrace what it is and say, okay, how can we resolve this? You know, if it's like something a little bit more complicated, find out to who specializes in that area that can help me with that, no matter what it is, right? So challenges, nobody likes challenges. Nobody likes challenges, right? Nobody who likes challenges out there. Nobody does, right? So now let me know, you guys, how your week is going. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, like my channel. It really helps you know, build up my channel. It's been taking forever to build up. You know, I have a deadline for everything in life with certain things, of course, right? What's working, what's just not working, no matter what, you know, and then it's time to end things. It's time to end certain situations or relationships or like whatever it is. So this is a week, as I mentioned, where you're going to start to see more truth coming out. You're going to just start to see, you know what? I can't believe this is still going on, or and when that happens, ask yourself, why are you allowing it? Why are you putting up with it? Right? You know what I mean? And it can be very painful to deal with, of course. However, it comes down how do you handle the situation and what works for you, what is not working for you at all. And how many of you are going to join me live right here on YouTube to get a free reading? How many of you? I'm going to be here. My team's going to be here. How many of you are going to be here? So make sure you subscribe to my channel to get these notifications in order to find out what's coming up. So happy super duper full moon to you guys. How many of you are going to be here? I'm just saying. Namaste.